Find a mud crab. Where's the mud crab? Where is it? Where's the mud crab? You'll get him. Alrighty, so here we are up in the top end, waiting for the tide to come back in. Low tide like this right now. We're cruising around checking out some rock pools, and we're looking for goodies like this guy down here. Have a look in the water. Woohoo, what a ripper. Now let's see if we can get this guy before he gets me. I'll spin him around and grab him on the back there, behind the two swimmers. See that? Once you've got him there, he can't get you. If I put my fingers under and grab him like that, he can still put his claws under there and get you. And if that big claw gets you, it's going to break your little finger off and snap it off. So we want to get him there. We can push him down, grab the back there, and we've got him just like that. There we go. That is a good size male mud crab. Hey buddy. Now you can see here on the bottom of the carapace, the small triangle, the thin triangle, that's the male. His characteristics, they're different sizes in different states. Where we are here, it's 13 centimetres for a male is legal. These guys can get to like 16, 17, maybe even 19 across the shell, and 2 kilos, so they get huge. You could easily get one twice the size of this, believe it or not. One of my favourite bush foods. Now the best way to cook this guy is straight on the coals. Basically, cook yourself up a nice fire, get your cooking fire on the side, have your coals separate, a little bit of a rack above so he's not right on the intensely hot coals, and you can put a knife through his carapace there and lay him upside down like that, and he'll cook in his own juices. It's this delicious mud crab. And yeah, this guy here, we get another 3 or 4 of these, and generally if you can get one decent sized one like this guy each, then you'll have a pretty good feed on that. So just coming down to areas like this, looks like there's nothing around, you can actually still get a feed. Now we want to find a little bit of mud and any sort of large rocky areas. We also got to be careful though, because in that muddy water that's there, that's coming back in behind me, that's a great spot for crocodiles. They love it when it's a bit murky. They've got really good camouflage in that type of water there. So, oi, come here. So we want to keep the dog away from the water's edge for obvious reasons. Hey, what's this? What's this? Where's the crab? Where's the crab? Alrighty. So we can see this guy here, he's got his claw. See the end of his claw there's been snapped off. On the top of his shell there as well, there's a bit of a puncture mark, and underneath there. So this guy has been in a fight with another male. They're quite territorial. So if we're lucky, have a poke around, we might be lucky enough to find the other male that he was fighting with. And then we can cook them both on the fire together. Yeah. What's that? Hey? What a ripper. Now, you'd think that most things that come from the muddy mangroves would taste muddy, but these guys are actually quite delicious. And another one of my favourite eating fish, the mangrove jack, also comes from the mangroves, as the name suggests. So food sources from the mangroves are generally quite tasty. Alright, so we'll pop him down here in this pool, give him a little bit of a bath there, let him have a little swim. You can see what he looks like in the water. And what he'll do is he'll defend himself, keep his claws right up. And that claw there, you wouldn't want to get crunched by that, could break your finger pretty easy. Lots of power in that claw there. Crab sizes. So in the Northern Territory, 13 centimetres for a buck or a male, and 14 centimetres for a female. In Queensland, bucks only 15 centimetres, which are about a kilo crab. So the female's a bit bigger, 14 centimetres. Once they get to that huge size, they stop reproducing as much, and that's why they're protected under that size. Another thing I wanted to mention as well is the shells up here. We've got some cone shells. Don't pick up shells in the ocean in this area. This one in particular, the Geographus cone shell, there's a few different species of them. There's one cone shell, black and white, about that big, and it's a snail, and what it does is it uses this little proboscis, comes out of here, and what he's got a dart with a barb on it, and it's also hypodermic, connected to a venom gland, and they're a venomous sea snail, and they shoot the prey and it paralyzes the prey instantly. So with our jellyfish and our cone shells have quite toxic venom which paralyzes their prey straight away, because it's a slow moving predator, and the prey items are fast moving, so they have really strong knockout toxins. So don't pick up shells in the ocean. Northern Australia, right across Northern Australia, even around the world, in the tropics near the equator as well, cone shells, and watch out for the jellyfish as well, so stay safe out there. Don't pick up shells. Alrighty, let's go and see what else we can find. There's one here, hiding in the rocks. Oh, he's nippy too. Oi, oi, oi. Oi. Get around behind him. Oh, look at that one. What's the crab? It's the crab. Aha. That's not a bad little crabby. Now you can see he's got the small triangle, the male. Female will have the big wide plate there. Now these guys live in here. When the tide comes in, they'll eat any dead fish, anything like that. Nice blue colours. They actually take years to get to this size. So there he is, Johnny Mud Crab. Look at him in the threat pose, nice and wide. Whoa! He's a bit of a goer, this fella. Nearly got the camera. You get too close, that's what they do. Two claws at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Look at him. See what he's trying to do there? It's another one of his escape techniques. He'll use these little flippers, bury into the sand and disappear. So if they come in flat, push him down. This one's a bit more fiery than the other one, that's for sure. He's a bit of more like a teenager. Catch him, cook him. I reckon we chuck this one on the coals later. So build the teepee first, then put all your kindling down in a little hole at the back, light it from a couple of different points. Hopefully you should go from there. This smoke is awesome. Where we are right now in the mangroves, this is what we use to keep the mosquitoes and the midgies or no-see-ums away. I've also chose this spot because it's below the high tide line, and then when the tide comes in after we've had a cook up, all of this will be put out by the tide. So first thing we want to do is get some coals going. Nice coals in here. If you get your driftwood above the high tide line on the beach from the last high tide, it should be dry enough to make a fire. It's the stuff that floats really well, it's light, it burns fast. Now we're talking. Get small stuff going, and we'll start putting a bit bigger stuff on there, create some coals. Alrighty, got some coals nice and prepped now. Now you can chill your crabs, put them in the esky, they go to sleep, or you can just stick a knife straight through there and then throw him on the coals. But if you chill them out a bit, they go to sleep, and then he's not jumping around on the fire and you don't feel bad about putting him to sleep. So what we want to do now is we don't want to have too many flames. We just want to build this up sort of nice and high. We can throw a couple of bigger ones on there that are a little bit damp. And then what we want to do is we don't want to cook him right in the flames, we want to cook him just over the coals. If he's right on the flames, his shell's going to burn and he's not going to cook as good. So we'll prop him up nice and high. We'll sit him up like so. Now the top of the shell we place down, and what he'll do is he'll cook in all his juices. I've left the shell on. You can take the shell off and pull him all apart, but cooking on the fire it's best to leave them whole, and then later on I'll show you can just pull off the legs and pull the meat out in one go basically. You don't have to get right into the guts and stuff of it. And obviously the claws are the thickest, so they're going to take the longest to cook. So when the claws are ready, that's when the rest of the crabs are ready. Now most of the meat from the legs is down here in the lower carapace, so we'll cook the top of him a bit first. You can see all that juice coming out, that's all the good stuff in there. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't really like to eat what's in the shell, but that's generally what they make a lot of the really nice seafood broths out of, is all the bits inside the crab. So it's fine to eat that and cook it through, and it actually gives you more flavour. If you're going to do them in a pot, make sure you do it with salt water. When it's fully boiling, then you drop the crab in, then you pull him out, he'll be bright red all over, and then what you do is you chuck the crab straight into the fridge, and that'll stop the meat sticking to the shell. Because if you overcook them, the meat will stick to the shell, and then it makes it much harder to get it out. So I've just got him on the side here heating these claws. Make sure that they get lots of heat through them, but once again we don't want to burn through the shell. And we can turn him around. Also, if you like cooking on a fire like me, what you can actually do is have your main fire and then bring your coals over to the side here and cook off the coals. Particularly when it's dark, you want a bit of light around. You'll have your little cooking fire here on the side, and then you'll have your main fire over here, or even completely separate. You want to keep turning it every 30 or 40 seconds. You don't want the shell to burn too much. Unfortunately, you're going to lose a couple of the ends of the legs, but most of the good stuff's in the claws and the body. course, you could have a rack and just hang it off a rack. You could even do a little tripod with a coat hanger in the middle and hang him up there and sit him up about this sort of height. That will take a bit longer, but it's beautiful to get that nice wood, get that sort of smoky smell going through them. Oh, mud crab, one of my favourites. Delicious stuff. Bit of dry grass. Make a bed for our crab so we don't get too much sand on him. You don't want crunchy crab. What we do is with the legs, grab the leg by the base here, and we just, hello, we've got a visitor. We just snap that off and pull it out quite slowly. What are you doing? Dingoes around these parts. And we wiggle it, and hopefully that meat should come out with that. If it doesn't, you can always get into that later. But this is what we want to get into. Claw here, we bust that off. That lovely meat comes out with it. Now there's little sections within every part of the crab. You break them off in the right places and you do it slowly at the joints. Hopefully that meat will come out with the sinews. Delicious. Snap him off at the elbow. Loosen the claw up a bit. And what we do is we snap that side to side. A lot of juice comes out. Wiggle it. Oh, look at that. Delicious. Gets a bit messy. The best way to eat them is on a big tarp on the back lawn with a hose. And once you get all dirty and eat lots of crab, you can just hose yourselves off. Claw's pretty sharp, back of the knife, bit of a crack there, crack there. Pull him apart slowly, you can see all that lovely stuff in the back. That's what we want to scoop on out, get that lovely meat. I do rate lobsters and I do rate crayfish, which are actually two different things. Lobsters have claws, crayfish don't. But the mud crab is one of my favourites. So there you go, a bit of mud crab on the fire action. There's still a heap of meat in there that we can get to. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and hopefully we'll see you on the next adventure. And I can show you some cool stuff, all the awesome animals that are out there, a little bit of hunting and fishing. Have a great weekend. Hey guys, just really wanted to say thanks a lot for tuning into my channel and staying with us on these wildlife adventures. If you like what you see, share it with your mates. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget, keep it wild, and I'll catch you next time.